settling for less. Basically more like potential. Yeah, but settling for less is you knowing that you deserve better, but you settle with this person because you hope they're gonna change with time. Yeah, I mean, as individuals, we always want to see the best in other people. That is good. As empaths, especially people that are empaths, you're so understanding, you're so kind, you want to basically change the whole world. I get it, but you will get hurt because your energy tends to attract these toxic people that will just turn you into a doormat. They will use you, they'll manipulate you. I mean, you've seen situations where ladies come out and say, I helped that man, I built him, and then he left me for another woman. Honey, it's because you were settling for less. And maybe this man was as well settling for less, but when he gets to where he wants to be, he actually goes for his dream woman. Or we also have ladies who have their dream man, but when they are dating you, they are basically waiting for the next better option. So let us stop settling for less. Otherwise, we are bound to have these breakups. We are bound to have these relationships failing. Let us stop blaming people who leave us for others. Maybe we made the mistake of settling for less. So it's that time we all stopped making that mistake. Hello there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Zoey Inspiration UG. Now, in case it's your first time here, I am a media personality, public relations officer, content creator, and social media manager. I basically speak about love, dating, and relationships. So in case you want to have your dream relationship, I do have all the tips for you. Subscribe down below. Let's dive right in. So basically, for our video today, I'm going to be talking about the top dating mistakes that we tend to make. All of us out there try to date every now and then, and believe me, you do not know the dating game 100%. So we all do make these mistakes. They are really common. So how about you give me an ear as we go through this long list? Yeah, by the way, you better buckle up because the list is endless. So first of all, let me ask you, if you're ever in a relationship with somebody, how do you define it before you actually start dating them? Do you want to date someone for the purpose of fun, or you want to experience? Some of you are on it to discover new restaurants. And then most of us, okay, I don't know if most of us want to get married, but I believe that should be the end goal for most relationships. So if you're that type of person, my explanations here will really align with yours, like really well. But if you're in it for the fun, well, you could still watch and pick a few things not to mess up. But basically, I just want to target somebody out there that looks at relationships with purpose. The disclaimer here is these are not my personal experiences that I'm going to be talking about, but these are observations I've made from some of my friends' relationships, a bit of experience from my own, because of course I'm dating, I'm a big girl, duh. And then basically I do read some good books and watch content online from relationship experts, psychologists. So I really have a lot, so you better not move. Inspiration. Okay, let's start off with our mistake number one. Mistake number one is more like how I started off. Most of you enter relationships without defining the purpose of this relationship. So that is the first mistake most of us make. You want to get in a relationship with somebody, you feel like they're yours and you're theirs, but the mistake you made is non-defining this relationship in terms of having a conversation with somebody and asking very clear, informed questions like, what are we, how are we going to date, what are your expectations of me, do you want me to move in, do you expect me to do ABCD? So basically, I wouldn't advise you to move in, but that is for later on. But I mean, you need to really ask detailed questions, like clear, concise questions, so as to know where you stand with this person and if you're in it for the same purpose. Otherwise, failing to define a purpose is basically you entering a job interview and then they ask you all the questions, and for you, you're willing to do what they want you to do, and then at the end of the day, your own needs are left uncatered to because you basically didn't ask questions. Okay, so dating is like an interview. I keep telling everybody out there that when you're dating, it's an interview. You're trying to pick the best candidate. Speaking about candidates, let's go to my number 2. The next mistake most of us make is dating one person at a time. Now, like I've described, dating, you're discovering someone, yeah? So before you actually become exclusive and you're really sure this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with, honey, you gotta keep all your options open. I mean, I've made that mistake several times. Whoa, I was so naive, but I learned, and dating one person at a time is really risky because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket until you're sure. When it comes to ladies, it's really hard on our side, especially us who feel like I've been there, guys. I feel like I cannot juggle more than one ball at a time. But trust me, it has done me more harm than good, because you meet all types of people. Some people are just after flirting. Not only men do these things, but also ladies. They have their options open. So if you're a good person out there and you don't want to juggle the ball, at least date people for short periods of time, like a few months. And if you do not get what you want, date the next person until you have your perfect decision. Otherwise, you're really in trouble. So keep all your options open and basically date them all until you find the one. My next dating mistake that we all tend to make is failing to get past the talking stage. Now, most of you do not know what the talking stage is. I mean, there's a dude I was dating and he basically thought I'm already his girlfriend, and I had to remind him that no. We are simply talking. I haven't decided if you're my boyfriend yet, because one, he had not defined what we were yet. He had actually never met me, so careful over there. You do not want to get stuck in what we call the talking stage. Some of you call it situationships, where somebody is like, hey, hi, what's up, how was your day, send me a picture, you look beautiful, and basically you never get beyond those conversations. What are you doing? Come on. 2022, let's all open our eyes and actually date properly. Talking is not dating until you actually go out on dates, you discover each other, and you hold that exclusive discussion that you're not my boyfriend, you're not my girlfriend, you are still single, okay? And then, of course, if you're not married, I don't want to get into that, you're still single. Anyway, so the other mistake we all tend to make is moving too fast. Yes, moving too fast in a relationship is really risky, because you will end up going for what you don't really know. I know some of you will say, oh, you really have to take years to know someone. Well, if you're dating consciously, personally, I think we can start off with 3 months as a mark. After 3 months, if you're dating consciously, that means you're not just sexing around, kissing, eating, having fun, and not holding conversations. At least by 3 months as a mark, you know who you're dealing with. If this person can be the girlfriend or boyfriend, the fiancé, the husband, wife, etc. So basically, date consciously and ask clear, concise questions. So don't get stuck in the talking stage of, hi, what are you doing? Come on, we can get past that as high value people. Yeah, so the next mistake that people, both men and women, tend to make, publicizing the relationship too soon. That is you telling your family members, your friends about the person you are dating. Don't get me wrong, it's good if you're proud of somebody, but it's better you do that when you're at least sure. We don't want to move too fast. So that means don't do things like PDAs on social media, because what you need to do at first when you're in a relationship, especially if it's new, is to establish the foundation first. And if the foundation is strong, that means you know the weaknesses of your partner, you know what makes them happy, what makes them sad. So basically it's easier to defend them in case of anything wrong. But imagine you publicize your relationship and then suddenly you have some drama breakout between the two of you. I mean, are you gonna go to social media and pull down all the pictures now? And then of course the online in-laws will be like, what happened? Did it end in tears? You know what I'm talking about, because we see it happening a lot, especially to celebrity couples, because we can't help but know about all their business. So if you're a normal person, even if you're a celebrity, come on, it's really important to have some privacy when it comes to your relationship. That is if you want it to last. I am not saying that the ones that are in private face less challenges or are better off, but what I'm trying to say is that they have less pressure from the public trying to intrude in their relationships, in their decisions. I mean, if you have fans out there, they could push you to make wrong decisions because of ego. Yeah, so keep your relationship on the low until you're past the foundation and it's really firm enough, then you're good to go. Like personally, honey, I don't think you can find any boyfriend of mine posted on my social media. I cannot do that. I'll basically post only my husband, like, ooh. That is the goal for me. And I believe that once you get your husband or wife, feel free to post them or publicize your relationship, because by the time you get married, you've seen it all. You've been through all the ups and downs and you can withstand any sort of pressure. But girlfriend-boyfriend relationships in public, I'm always biased about it. It's a no-go area, trust me. So my next point is something called failing to date with boundaries. Yeah, some of you are dating without boundaries. Now, one thing about boundaries that I can say is that you teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. Let's say I am a morning person, I wake up early, and my boyfriend is a night person, or the vice versa. So if he calls me up late in the night, I may already be sleeping, so I establish that as my boundary. Maybe I tell him by 10 p.m. you should never call my phone because I'm normally sleeping. That is me establishing a boundary, and boundaries are healthy. Why? Because you do not want to be in a relationship where you're unhappy. Because a red flag here is if somebody actually keeps breaking your boundaries that you've set. Let's say your boyfriend needs nudes from you, or your girlfriend, and you say you're not comfortable sending particular types of pictures, and this person keeps pressing you for certain kinds of things that you're not comfortable with. That is someone definitely showing you the red flags you need to know, and what you need to do is run. Yeah, that is the mistake that most of us make. Overlooking red flags while in a relationship. Yeah, sometimes the experience can be great. Let's say the sex is going great, so you do not see yourself breaking up with this toxic person, but you never ever have to overlook these red flags, like someone always crossing your boundaries, someone giving you abuse emotionally, mentally. As long as somebody doesn't give you peace, they do not encourage you, they're always negative, that kind of energy, those are all just basically red flags. So know what you want in a partner, and when you're not getting it from somebody, come on, you need to get out of that relationship. Because the next mistake we all tend to make is settling for what we call potential. Settling for potential is a mistake that we all tend to make at some point. I mean, sometimes we all have this hope of that our partner is gonna change for better. If only I give them a month, if only I give them another year, I know he's a good guy, the sex is great, attachment is so great, emotionally I feel these butterflies, the chemistry is really good. But you need to wake up. Settling for potential is basically potential. You're putting someone on a pedestal, and it does not mean that this person is the image you have of them. So there is a possibility of you being disappointed, and at the end of the day, when you are disappointed, you may end up blaming this person, and yet in real sense, this person is actually innocent. You put them on a pedestal, you expected a lot from them, and when they fail to show up, when they fail to, succeed, you blamed them, and they were not guilty, trust me. So let us stop settling for potential. Know what you want, and then date. If you feel that someone is not bringing out what you want, making you feel a certain way, get someone else until you find what you want. Date them all. It's not marriage. You do not want to get married to a partner that you are not comfortable with while dating, but you marry them for potential because of what you hope they will be. The next thing you're gonna get is disappointment, and so to avoid that, let us learn to date people for their reality. If someone has no job and they have no job, don't date them having this thing of, okay, they're gonna get the job next month. If I push them a little harder, you may push them and do your part, but if they fail at the end of the day, it's you and your pedestal that will be disappointed. So date for reality. Yeah, so my next point is called settling for less. Basically more like potential. Yeah, but settling for less is you knowing that you deserve better, but you settle with this person because you hope they're gonna change with time. Yeah, I mean, as individuals, we always want to see the best in other people. That is good, as empaths especially. People that are empaths, you're so understanding, you're so kind, you know? You want to basically change the whole world. I get it, but you will get hurt because your energy tends to attract these toxic people that will just turn you into a doormat. They will use you, they'll manipulate you. I mean, you've seen situations where ladies come out and say, I helped that man, I built him, and then he left me for another woman. Honey, it's because you were settling for less, and maybe this man was as well settling for less, but when he gets to where he wants to be, he actually goes for his dream woman. Or we also have ladies who have their dream man, but when they are dating you, they are basically waiting for the next better option. So let us stop settling for less. Otherwise, we are bound to have these breakups. We are bound to have these relationships failing. Let us stop blaming people who leave us for others. Maybe we made the mistake of settling for less. So it's that time we all stopped making that mistake. Okay. The next dating mistake is really interesting, you guys. Do you know one thing that always makes us all stand out? I mean, all of us as individuals were created with different talents, different personalities, and we all have types when we are dating. So the next mistake that most of us tend to make is pretending, not being authentic when you are dating somebody just because you want to please them. Let's say my boyfriend loves football, so as a lady I pretend to also love football, and yet deep down inside it nags me a lot whenever he's in front of the television watching football. So basically, let us stop pretending when we are in relationships. Be yourself, because you want to attract what they call a soulmate, somebody who appreciates you for who you are, somebody who loves you because your purpose aligns with theirs. You know, you don't have to be compatible with somebody 100%, but sometimes, let's say I am a loud person, I love it if I'm dating somebody that is quiet, they'll be able to listen to me. And then somebody who is loud would want to, you know, express themselves every now and then. And sometimes these quiet people also don't want loud people, they want another quiet person, maybe because silence is important to them. So be yourself so as to attract somebody for what they actually want out of you, because the truth is we cannot pretend forever. Even those of you who say that people pretend, you can date someone for years without knowing who they are, honey, you need to be provocative. You definitely know the true colors of somebody, because we cannot pretend forever. It's like being at a job and you do not love this job. Eventually you break down and show that you hate it. You start going late, you start lagging in your duties and all that. So basically, I don't think as individuals we need to pretend, because you want to attract someone for who you are. If you love smiling, smile, don't be sad. I mean, who is attracted to that? But everybody's tastes and preferences differ, so by being yourself, you get a chance to attract who you're best with. Yeah. Now, many ladies have been judged for having sex too soon in a relationship, and yet men do it most. Most men can hardly get past the first few dates. That is if you even escape the trap on a first date. I mean, a man will literally try to have sex with you on a first date. The first time meeting you, he'll invite you to his place. And that is the generation we are in. We cannot blame people, but it is really, really terrible out here. So we have really few high value people, but a high value woman and man, you know that dating is not all about sex. It's all about discovering someone, because what happens with having sex, it blinds your vision. You do not rationalize things while in a relationship. So if you're dating somebody, please withhold the sex. If you cannot abstain, like personally, I am celibate for my spiritual reasons, so there's no way I'd be having sex with somebody. I'd totally date very consciously. If you're a man and you're trying to seduce me, like I really get a lot of guys trying to, you know, turn me on, honey, I am not turned on sexually, because I feel like there are better things that turn me on, like someone's intelligence, someone's reasoning capability, you know, sapiosexuals. I think some of you get my point, but Yeah, so physical intimacy is something that should come last to me, because you do not know what you're getting yourself involved with. What if somebody's background involves stuff that are actually gonna injure you? Because sex is actually spiritual, it's not just physical. So having sex too soon is basically you giving away your life, because it's a soul thing, it's really deep, it's intimate, it's the most intimate thing you can actually do with your partner, because it's private. That is why we don't have people doing it in public. So if you just meet someone and you have sex with them too fast, you're basically saying you have no value to yourself, you have no other beautiful qualities, and that is how somebody can be like, let me hit and run. Because especially men, the hunt is interesting when you make it mysterious. You don't just give in too fast, yeah. So at least date somebody for a few months. For those of you who love your sex, no problem. But if you're a religious person, you know that fornication is not for you, my darlings. Unless you're married, sex should be out of the question. Yeah, you are fornicating. There is the Bible verse for those of you who have never actually read it. So make sure that you keep your bodies as the temple of God. Otherwise, you are in trouble, yeah? Anyway, so the next thing I want to talk about is the fact that most of you do what they call cohabiting during the dating season. Damn, guys, is there a difference between dating and marriage? Come on, you do not cohabit with a boyfriend or girlfriend. I mean, that is so wrong. So why is someone gonna buy a cow yet they are milking it for free? Even if, let's say I have my favorite sweets and I went to the restaurant, to the supermarket, so I picked them up and they're like, you don't have to pay. Oh my God, I'll just enjoy them instantly. So that is what some of you are doing. Men are enjoying privileges. You're washing, you're cleaning. Men, you've started for this woman a business. You do not even know if she's someone that can make it to the fiancé stage or even be a wife material. All these things you realize after impregnating her, she has kids, and now there's certain traits you see. Oh, she's such a party animal. She's never home. She's gonna spoil my kids. She cannot mentor them, blah blah. But who is to blame? You didn't take time to know this woman, but you got involved in my previous point of having sex too soon. And you know, sex is a trap. Even the great men are trapped like that. However high your position is, you are trapped sexually, and women are all over the streets trying to, you know, pull down your empires and all that, and it's very easy to do that. It's just the power of sex. So if you're a high value person out there, you need to really look out for other people's good qualities before you actually start sleeping around. Otherwise, if you're in the relationship for just fun, you guys do you, but when you're ready to settle, these points will make. In case you're here and it's your first time and you've never subscribed, please hit the subscribe button down below and the bell's notification, so that in case I have a new upload, you definitely know and you can watch me, Zoey Inspiration UG. Let's continue. Dating for too long. Yes. Now, guys, I personally think dating is not marriage. So stop putting in wife energy into dating. Dating, you're discovering people to see if they're actually potential candidate for whatever it is you're looking for. Like I said in the beginning, basically, if you're interested in marriage, these points are for you. So if marriage is your end goal, don't date for too long, unless someone is basically a potential candidate for you to see them as a wife or husband. You don't want to date for more than 2 years. I believe 2 years is the maximum for dating, yeah? And that relationship should be progressing. By the time you hit the 2 years mark, you should have met the friends, you should have met the family, you should know almost everything about your partner. Not almost everything, but like everything. I basically believe you should even know the password to their phone, because hey, why are you getting married to someone that is still holding secrets? So I believe that if you're out there and you're interested in marriage, 2 years should be the mark. Anything beyond that, you are desperate, honey. You need to take a break, because the next dating mistake the most of us tend to make is being in a relationship to feel whole. Yeah. Some of you are afraid to end relationships because you do not want to be lonely. You fear what society is gonna say. Oh, she has no girlfriend, she has no boyfriend, he has no girlfriend. All your friends are dating and you're single. Honey, You need to embrace your singleness. Like in my video that I did here, you should check it out, how to embrace your singleness before marriage. Yeah, because that is a whole phase out there. Everything you get in life, you first prepare for it. Even if it's sitting for an examination in class, you read, you know, you do certain things. Otherwise, we just go to school and do examinations and fail. That is what some of you are setting yourselves up for. So being single is part of the process, because you are discovering yourself. What are your likes? What are your preferences? Fall in love with yourself, because when you do, you value yourself. And if anyone enters your life that does not value you, you will know, and you will not settle for less, like I've been saying. So please, do not be in a relationship to feel whole, because marriage will not fill you as a person. It will not. Marriage is comprised of two people that are both complete in their purpose. I have my life, my boyfriend has his life. If we become wife and husband, our lives continue. I continue to pursue what I love, and he continues to pursue what he loves, and that makes the relationship interesting. But some of you think that, oh, I have no life, let me get married to him if he has his purpose. What if what he loves to do is not what you love to do? That is going to be a challenging marriage for you. So have your own life before you become somebody's wife. You understand? You better understand. Even you husbands out there, future promising husbands, have your life in place before you pursue me to be your wife. Because one of the intelligent questions I want to ask you is, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? And I don't want to hear you say, I could do anything, I can be anything that comes along the way. Ladies, watch out for a man without a vision, because a man without a vision is basically leading you nowhere. You need a leader. He cannot head a household. You cannot submit if he doesn't have a direction. You understand? That will be a discussion for another day. Now, my next point is more like the one that I've just spoken about. That is the mistake of making the relationship your priority. Yeah, you prioritize the relationship over your life, over your work, over your family. Come on, guys. One of the things that keeps people together is actually mystery. If you read books like Why Men Marry Bitches, The 5 Love Languages, so many interesting things actually attract our partners to us. Yeah, things I wish I knew before I got married. So you having your own life, like in my previous point, will help you not to make this relationship too much of a priority. You know, sometimes people will tell you that, marry your best friend. Why? Because with your best friend, you're free. If you don't want to cook today, this person won't be surprised, because they're like, oh, sometimes she doesn't want to cook, sometimes she does makeup, another time she doesn't have makeup. But a person who has their what am I even saying? Anyway, so guys, have your own life, so that you do not make a relationship your only thing, like your whole world is around this relationship. What if the relationship ends? Does your life end? No, your life continues. So embrace your singleness before relationships. Then when you're in a relationship, continue. I mean, I've seen ladies throw away their life for a man. Come on. Keep your job, keep your hobbies, keep doing those things. Men have complained, oh, she stopped doing the things she used to do before we got married. And those are things that kill marriage. Not like I'm married, but now I'm speaking from the observations, like the disclaimer I gave you in the beginning. So keep your life interesting, be busy. Because the next mistake some of us tend to make while dating is being too available. When you're too available, people take you for granted. Even the water we have, imagine if it was everywhere and we didn't have to pay a price at some point. Would we really care? You know, but we do pay for things and we value them. If I had no electricity and the bills were not coming in, definitely I'd look for the bills to pay. So marriage is work, relationships are work. There is some price you're paying to keep it interesting. So have your own life, have things you do, put in effort, yeah, so that you make this relationship work. But keep your life interesting, do your own things, because those are the things that sometimes attract your partner to you. Yeah. And now my next point is talking about exes. The mistake of talking about exes sounds cliche, but it's not a big deal. but it becomes a big deal if you do it over and over and over and over. Because the first thing, it creates this impression to your partner that you're not over your ex or something, and then there are those people that will actually literally badmouth their exes like they were the worst people alive. Personally, from experience, I believe if you're speaking about your ex, because some exes are really demons, that is the truth. I can't believe I'm using the word, but you feel like, hey, this man was sent from hell, go back. You know, God sends gifts, but also the devil sends gifts. Go back to hell. Yeah, so if you have such an ex, one thing I know is that such relationships that are toxic, they teach you so many things. But when you're moving on in your next relationship, maybe just say, me and my ex were not compatible, and yeah, a lot happened, we didn't work out, blah blah. Keep it simple, but don't overgo into details of really painting this negative picture, because it's kind of a turn off for this person you are dating. They'll feel like you are playing the blame game, and yet we are all not perfect. So I believe in healthy relationships, we acknowledge that our past should stay in the past, and our present should be the best thing that we can all embrace and talk about. So if a person ever traps you with the question of tell me about your ex, don't go into too many details, because sometimes they'll use your past experiences to actually judge you. Let's say your ex cheated on you, this person will see you like as an attractive or something, however much you may be a good woman or a good man. So let's keep the past in the past. And then there is this thing of body count. Some of you ask, how many partners have you been with? Honey, you do not want to say that. You do not want to ask that question either, because you'll always look at your partner as someone that has been, used, someone that has actually been full of impurities before getting with you. So it's better to keep certain questions away from our dating lives. You understand? And now this is a bonus for you guys. Ladies, one thing you need to keep in mind is that men are hunters, yeah? Men are hunters, and any man watching out there who feels like women should be chasing you, my darling, you better wake up. Maybe you have some traumas from your past that like dealing with mommy issues, or ladies, you're dealing with daddy issues. That is basically you growing up without a certain parental figure in your life, so it affects your dating. Those are things you need to deal with before you actually jump into your next relationship. If you keep having those traumas that lead to the end of your relationship, you need to actually seek therapy, seek counseling, go for prayers, because if you do not heal things from your past, your traumas, they'll always affect your relationships. Some men do not want to be providers because they basically grew up watching their mothers provide everything at home, so they feel the woman should be the man. But like all times, a man needs to have a woman submit. The only way you're gonna have a woman submit is you being a proper leader, a proper provider, a protector, and this woman needs to be in her feminine energy. It means even if she has all the money in the world, you still need to provide, because that is your role as a man. It's like you telling me that as a woman I should stop birthing kids and nurturing the family just because I now work, etc. But at the end of the day, you need to date somebody that understands you. But one thing that I can say is that don't make a mistake of having a one-to-one deep conversation about your partner's fears, experiences growing up, because those are all things that affect their mentality, their emotions. Some people are emotionally unavailable. You're with somebody, but as if you do not feel them, they do not love you, you're not on the same page. Do the digging about their past experiences. Some people are abused by their parents, so it can affect their mental condition, their emotions. They'll basically seek these abusive relationships. I mean, why would someone stay in a relationship where they're beaten and abused constantly? It's because they're traumatized and they think that the proper way of showing love to them is by being beaten, by being put through pain. I mean, I've met a man who told me that if I do not argue with him, he does not feel I love him. So I just automatically knew that this man has an emotional problem. Some people grow up on the streets, they are basically survivors. So they need to heal those traumas before you actually have this healthy relationship. So take time to find out what your partner is battling with. If not, you will basically be affected, and yet you do not deserve to suffer on behalf of somebody else's traumas. So if you're dating someone, I believe that energy should be reciprocated. That is, the men, of course, you start off as hunters, and then ladies, we reciprocate the energy that we get from a man. If he hunts you, you run. When he catches you, you chase back a bit. Like that, it keeps the challenges going, the hunt interesting. And that is how relationships are, especially for men. They are hunters, they love challenges. Don't make it an easy one for him. But if he is finally your boyfriend, your partner, or whatsoever, you need to reciprocate the energy. If he gets you a gift, depending on his love language, do things that appreciate his love. Make him feel important, make him feel a king. Yeah, just don't go overboard. Like, don't be a wife to a boyfriend, okay? That is all I have for you guys today. Guys, I hope you really picked up lots of knowledge from here. If you've not yet subscribed, please do feel free to hit the subscribe button down below and the bell's notification so that you do not miss out in case I have another video. I love you guys. Aspire to inspire before you expire. Catch up with me on all my social media handles. That is Zoey Inspiration UG, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. I try, but I'm not really there. But Zoey Inspiration UG everywhere. Aspire to inspire before you expire. Kings and queens, I'm out of here. Adios.